Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much, everybody, for the great comments on the previous video and all the views. Appreciate it. Some great comments, though. And I just want to clarify, when I said that I had nothing against those organizations I had mentioned, like some of those church organizations and the Shriners and the Freemasons. No, I do not support them or condone them, but I have my own personal feelings that, they're cults as well. But some get triggered, when we say that some of these organizations are cults. I do know they do some good things in the community, so it is what it is. I'm just not going to judge them, and, of course, I wouldn't join any of them. But, that's just my personal opinion. So, Mike and I, we tell it the way it is. Now, I want to thank so many of you for sending me, this information and just some news tidbits here. Now, first of all, when you go to jw.org, you see that they have announced they have sold some more properties, and they're down to like their last couple of properties, for sale in Brooklyn, New York, and they may have already sold all of them by now. Now, of course, the witness's website is not going to put how much they got for these buildings. So I did go and do a search of some of these properties, and on the Real Deal New York Real Estate News, and I'm going to put the link down below, here's how much Fortis paid for its Jehovah's Witness site. Company is planning 26-story, 74-unit apartment building at 30 Front Street. Fortis Property Group has closed on its purchase of 30 Front Street from Jehovah's Witnesses for $91 million, according to property records. The religious group had used the site as a parking lot, and it was the last remaining property that they had at their former Brooklyn headquarters. So even this article says that was their last property. And of course, they're wanting to put apartments up on this. The Jehovah's Witnesses have sold a total of 37 Brooklyn properties since 2004. According to the religious organization, other recent deals include the $60 million sale of 74 Adams Street to developer Jeffrey Kershaw, and the $202.5 million sale of 21 Clark Street to Kane Anderson Real Estate Advisors. Of course, neither Fortis nor the Jehovah's Witnesses immediately responded to a request for comment. And like I said, I'm going to put this article down below. In editing this, I forgot to mention that the IBSA properties, the Society has their own website in the UK for properties that are up for sale. So I'm going to put the link down below to that also. I just want to mention a few things on this. The extensive IBSA property portfolio in North London is now being brought to the market. So, they're selling all this property in London. And it isn't just Bethel. They have many houses. These things are mansions. I mean, we couldn't afford any like this. Houses. IBSA owns a number of residential properties situated in close proximity to IBSA House and Watchtower House. These are located along the Ridgeway or in Partingdale Lane. There's a lot of them. This one, Hadley, I guess it would be, in Ridgeway. It's up for £1.2 million. Ridgetop, £950,000. Elbury, POA. I think that means it's not listed quite yet, but it says coming soon, inquiries welcome. Landfall, almost £1.2 million. Shennies, another one, not quite listed yet. Lowood House, £2,750,000. Number 1, the Ridgeway, coming soon. Number 8, the Ridgeway, 1,395,000 pounds. Watchtower is going to make a lot of money, and I don't believe these are going for kingdom halls in third world countries for a minute. My personal opinion, but you know, when they're selling these kingdom halls all over the world, I just can't see that they're buying them. Apartments. Our apartment blocks offer clean, comfortable, modern accommodation. Block sizes vary from 6 apartments to 28 apartments. And it isn't just one. The Buttermere Court, being brought to market in 2019. Coniston Court, Lexington Court, Ullswater Court, Richmond Court, Whitby Court, Tadworth Court, Harrogate Court, all being brought to market in 2019. Watchtower House. Of course they don't have the price of that. And I was going to wait until we did a nail-in coffin for this, but it's just getting to be so much that, you know, figured do it now because I'm not sure, you know, when we're going to be able to do the next nail-in coffin just because of so many emails. Conference Center and Open Field. There's 8-acre site that has a conference center, currently serving as Kingdom Hall of Jehovah's Witnesses. It's under offer already. IBSA house, sold already, and it just went on the market. 1 Elstree Way, Borenham Wood. That one's up for sale. Manor Point 1 and 2, Borehamwood, being brought to market in 2019. So like I said, I'm going to put the link down below to all of these so you can check it out. I find it a bit humorous. Now, many of you have sent us private messages, and some of you current Jehovah's Witnesses, so thank you, you know, for getting beyond that fear of contacting us. We don't bite, do we? We're not going to turn you into Satan's tools, so thank you. Appreciate it. We've kind of been putting these pieces together. Now, we were told by an ex-elder in this country that for some reason several of the quick build kingdom halls that Watchtower built back in the 80s and 90s, a lot of these kingdom halls are having asbestos problems and mold problems. Now we know it's going to cost Watchtower a fortune to, you know, remodel these buildings and fix these problems. Now, he did mention that one of the kingdom halls that has a bad mold problem is going to cost $35,000 to refurbish, you know, or remodel to make it usable. So then I get this message, and I'm going to redact, you know, some of this information because I don't want to out them, you know, and we want to protect people who are contacting us. But it's a source affiliated with the Canada branch, and they had seen our video, you know, about the Canadian, you know, Charity Commission and Watchtower letting the congregation's current status registration lapse. Now, I don't know how much they charge for each one of these registrations. I know some countries it depends on the amount of income you're taking in. So, you know, what, $100, $200 per congregation to register to get their, you know, charity status current again? I don't know, but that's a lot of money. But anyway, this source contacted me, and like I said, they have some affiliation with the Canada branch. And they said there is a big board at the Bethel there that shows the merging plans of congregations and mentioned the abandonment of many more. One hall had mold and couldn't be sold, and I was shocked to hear someone say, "What are we supposed to do with it? Just burn it?" And they laughed right afterwards. You know, it was strange, and I was really wondering if the JWs are getting rid of their own kingdom halls. Now, I know many of you who are on my Facebook have seen the discussion going on about the arson problem in Washington State and those kingdom halls. And the question has been brought up. Now, this is a question, you know, is there a mold problem at these kingdom halls that are being torched, and this is an inside job? You know, I don't know if these kingdom halls, if Watchtower still self-insures, or if they have, you know, regular insurance company insurance now. I don't know. But, you know, it does bring up some questions. If they have a serious, you know, mold problem or have asbestos that is going to cost thousands and thousands of dollars, you have to wonder, you know, there's a question mark. And what better way to blame somebody who is an apostate, a disgruntled ex-member, because that's who the authorities are looking for. You know, and when I called the sheriff's department to tell them this little tidbit of information, I was blown off. Like I was crazy, like a conspiracy theorist or something. So that told me that they're really not wanting to really find the truth. That's law enforcement for you. All right. Now, I want to thank Carlos so much for sending me these quotes. This information is golden nuggets. From the October 2018 Watchtower. I'm sorry, Carlos didn't send me this particular one. I forgot to write down who sent this to me. I'm sorry. So whoever sent me this one, it's from the October 2018 Watchtower Study Edition. Page 7, paragraph 5, how Satan is misleading humans. The Apostle Paul knew that we can avoid being outwitted by Satan, for we are not ignorant of his intentions. We know that the whole world, including false religion, corrupt politics, and greedy commercialism is under the devil's control. They just sold all their property in New York for megabucks. Oh, but that's not greedy commercialism. I digress. We are not surprised then that Satan and his demons would influence men in powerful positions to speak lies. Oh, like, move along, we don't have a child abuse problem, it's just Satan's lies. Isn't that a lie itself? And these are men in power? Just have questions. That certainly is true of people in big business who promote harmful products and fraudulent schemes through false advertising. If you don't listen to us, you're going to be destroyed at Armageddon. If you don't shun your family, you know, if you take a blood transfusion, you're going to die at Armageddon. Jehovah God is going to kill you. Now, paragraph 6. Religious leaders who lie are especially guilty because they endanger the future life prospects of those who believe their lies. If an individual accepts a false teaching and practices something that is actually condemned by God, it can cost that person his eternal life. It also destroys families. You know, it reminds me of the blood issue. You know, what about these abused women with domestic violence? You know, Alexander James of JW Victims just posted about a woman that was, you know, killed. It wasn't a Jehovah's Witness, but she was killed just a few feet away from her newborn baby by her domestic partner. This happens all the time. And then Watchtower says you have to stay with an abusive husband. And I know this is true because my best friend stayed with an abusive man, a JW, ministerial servant, for 13 years because the elders told her just to pray and be a better wife. I get angry. Paragraph 7. Whether called pastors, priests, rabbis, swamis, or by some other title. Oh, you mean like governing body? Some other title, religious leaders around in the world today, like their first century counterparts, they are suppressing the truth from God's word and have exchanged the truth of God for the lie. They promote such false teachings. As once saved, always saved. The immortality of the human soul, reincarnation, and the foolish idea that God would condone homosexual lifestyles and same-sex marriages. Now, this goes right along with this article, and I have the bond volume. This is the 2012 Watchtower bond volume. Okay, March 15th, 2012, page 20, paragraph 2. See if you can make the connection. Christians living at this time of the end focus their attention on one of two hopes. Now we know Jehovah's Witnesses believe that there's 144,000 going to heaven and then the great crowd. The remaining members of the little flock of anointed Christians have the hope of immortal life in heaven as kings and priests with Christ in his kingdom. The far more numerous great crowd of other sheep share the hope of living forever on a paradise earth as subject of the Messianic kingdom. This is the clincher. The other sheep should never forget that their salvation depends on their active support of Christ's anointed brothers still on earth. The anointed will enter into their reward, but the hope of the other sheep will just as certainly be fulfilled. Who said they were the anointed brothers? Oh, they did. We're the governing body. We're the faithful slave. We're the 144,000. So you need to support us and obey us to get your reward. John 14:6. That's all I'm going to say. Thank you everybody so much for watching this, and we hope you have a wonderful Merry Christmas. Bye.